An important topic of discussion in Chapter 3 of Your Career, How to Make It Happen is the topic of self-assessment. Self-assessment is even more important in today's job market because it's possible that you might not be able to find a job in the field of your choice. So it's important for you to know what else you might be interested in or what else you might be suited to so that you can make some intelligent choices about other options, other career options. In the Startup Review, Hoffman and Casnota talk about pivoting, making a slight adjustment in your career plan based on the demands of the market. In other words, you might not be able to find a job in your chosen career, and on a long-range plan that might include gaining knowledge and expertise in many areas as you move from position to position. In other words, you might want to work in marketing for a while to find out more about that particular issue, but that might not be where you want to spend the rest of your career. In Chapter 3, you're going to be gathering information about yourself, doing self-assessment, and documenting your educational and work background in preparation for writing your resume and for filling out applications. You'll be thinking about your skills, your values, and your preferences so that you can target companies and positions that are a good fit for you. And that's what gaining employment is about, a place where you fit in and where you feel their needs and they feel your needs. In addition to focusing on what might be the ideal position and company for you, you will also focus on contingency plans. If you cannot immediately find work in your target industry and position, what other positions and companies might be an acceptable fit for you while you earn a living and work toward your ideal position. You'll be using the internet to find information on self-evaluation tools that could help you in your search. And I've put in the document that accompanies this podcast two self-assessment tools. The first one is used by the state of Minnesota, and if you will look for the word online, when you click on the link, look for the word online and click on it. And it is a very quick self-assessment tool that helps you to think about, to sort of branch out into other career fields and think about how your particular interests, because that's what it's all based on, is your interests, is to think about how your interests could maybe help you figure out what else you could do. What are some other career fields that you might be interested in based on your interests? And then the other link is sort of a short version of the Myers-Briggs personality assessment, and I always think that's a useful tool. One of the questions in the Career Action 3-7 is about accomplishments. I saw a great Dilbert cartoon in the Charlotte Observer, and if you'll look in the transcript for the podcast or in the Chapter 3 lecture, you'll see it. The boss with the pointy hair is conducting an interview. He asked the prospective employee about his accomplishments on his last job. The interviewee says, "Oh, I made some phone calls and stuff. I think I made a difference." The pointy-haired boss asks, "Do you want this job?" And the interviewee says, "Nah, just lonely." Interviewers do often ask you to name your accomplishments from prior employment. It is a very common question, but one that most people have trouble answering off the cuff. We need to think about the answers to questions like, name at least one thing that you accomplished on your last job. I strongly suggest writing down an answer that you could use on that occasion. And I also strongly suggest that you do not answer not applicable. That's what I often see in answer to question 4 on Career Action 3-7. And I want to bang my head against the wall when I see students put NA in answer to that question, because you might well be asked that in an interview. And yes, I do hope you do better with this question than the interviewee in the cartoon. Incidentally, I often find that people have no clue what post-secondary education is. in CA3-1, they ask you to list the courses that you took and so on in your post-secondary educational experiences. And a lot of people say, well, I don't have any post-secondary education. But that's not possible if you're at Gaston College. Primary education is what you do in grades 1 through 8. Secondary education is grades 9 through 12. Post-secondary education is anything after high school. Gaston College is post-secondary education.